Shalom Aleichem. Mishnah Yomi is holding in chapter 6 of Yoma, the chapter about the Sir HaMishtaleach, the scapegoat, or the goat that was sent Lazazel, sent off the cliff, as we're going to see in this parak. So we are holding in chapter 6, Mishnah Gimel. Misaro, the Kohen Gadol, gave the goat into the care of Lami Shahaya Malicho, of the man who would lead it to its final destination. The Mishnah comments, "Kol kesheri leholicho." Really, anyone is qualified to do this job. Elash asur kohanim gedolim keva, but the high priests made a fixed minhag. They wouldn't let a regular Yisrael do it, and probably not a Levi either. They would rely on kohanim only to do the job. Amar Rabbi Yossi objects. He says, "My seif halicho Arsala, a man named Arsala, that was his name. He did the job once, or at least once. Yisrael Haya, he was a Yisrael, not a Kohen. So you see, it wasn't merely Kohanim who could do the job of escorting the Sir Mishtaleach to the cliff. Onto Mishnah Dolet, V'chevesh, and there was a ramp, Asulo, that they built. This ramp was sort of an access ramp from the Shar Nicanor area, from the temple, to the outside of the city, and it was, as we're going to see, to protect the goat and the man with the goat, Mipnei Bavlim, because of the Babylonians. Shayu Mitolshin Besaira, they were plucking at the hair of the goat. Ve'omrim lo, tol v'tzei, take and go. Tol v'tzei, take it and go. So these men were acting inappropriately, and they were pushing and shoving and pulling on the goat. Some of Farshim say they would even be pushing on the escort, the man escorting the goat. And the Gemara says these weren't actually Babylonians. They were really rowdy men from Alexandria. But because Babylonians were also known in Eretz Yisrael to act in a sort of uncouth and rowdy manner, so when someone saw someone acting out, they sort of assumed they were a Babylonian, even though these particular ruffians were Alexandrian Jews. And the Mishnah continues, Miyakire Yerushalayim, from the rich and famous people of Yerushalayim, Hayum Milovin, they would escort Oto, the man with the goat, Ad Sukkah Rishona, to the first booth. We're going to see about these booths in this parak. Eser Sukkot Yerushalayim Ad Sukkah. There were 10 booths situated between Yerushalayim and the cliff face. Tishim Ris, and it was a distance of 90 Ris. Shiva Mechetzia Lechol Mil. I mean, there's 7.5 Ris in a mil, so the total distance was 12 mil. So there were 10 huts. You had Yerushalayim at mile 0, and then you had 10 huts, and then another mil we're going to see to the cliff itself. So as we learned in Eruvin, if your Tchum Shabbos, Tchum Yom Kippur would be the same thing, was in the city of Yerushalayim, you could only go the 2,000 amma, the 1 mil, to the first hut. That's why the Yikir Yerushalayim escorted him that far. And we're going to see there were other people situated at these huts, and that's where they stayed the entire Yom Kippur. And it sounds a little, maybe a little strange for someone to camp out Yom Kippur in a hut halfway between Yerushalayim and a cliff, but that was an important and vital job. So we see sometimes we're not necessarily in what we think is the best place, but we might be exactly where we need to be to accomplish what Hashem wants of us at that time. So more about the booths and the goats and the cliff tomorrow. Stay tuned. Yashar Kochachem, and be well.